Welcome back to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today we're examining one of the most fundamental concepts in economics that affects virtually every aspect of our lives. Supply and demand. Supply and demand is the economic model that explains how the price of goods and services is determined in a market. When supply increases relative to demand, prices tend to fall. When demand increases relative to supply, prices tend to rise. This elegant framework helps explain everything from why concert tickets for popular artists become so expensive to why the price of seasonal fruits drops during harvest time. It's like a perpetual balancing act, with prices serving as the mechanism that brings equilibrium to the marketplace. Historically, we can see supply and demand dramatically illustrated during the Dutch tulip mania of the 1630s. In what is often considered the first documented speculative bubble, tulip bulbs became extraordinarily valuable in the Netherlands. At the peak of the mania, a single rare tulip bulb could sell for more than the price of a luxury house. This wasn't because tulips had become inherently more useful, but because demand had skyrocketed while supply remained relatively fixed in the short term. When demand eventually collapsed, so did prices. Some tulips lost over 99% of their value. It's like watching a pendulum swing to an extreme before violently swinging back in the opposite direction. In today's business landscape, consider Instacart, the grocery delivery service. During the COVID-19 pandemic, demand for their services surged as people avoided in-person shopping. This sudden increase in demand relative to the supply of delivery workers led to higher delivery fees, longer wait times, and eventually a massive recruitment drive to increase the supply side of their equation. Another example is Coursera, the online education platform. As traditional education costs continue to rise while delivering questionable returns on investment, demand has grown for affordable, flexible alternatives. Coursera responded by increasing the supply of courses and specializations, creating a new equilibrium at a price point far below traditional education. It's like watching a market identify a vacuum and rapidly fill it with new options that better balance what consumers want with what providers can offer. So how can we apply the concept of supply and demand in our daily lives? Firstly, consider timing your purchases based on predictable supply and demand cycles. Buy seasonal products when supply is high and demand is lower. Winter coats in spring, air conditioners in fall, or cars at the end of the month when dealers are trying to meet quotas. This awareness can lead to significant savings. It's like learning the rhythm of the market so you can dance to it rather than against it. Secondly, in your career, look for opportunities where your skills are in high demand but short supply. Whether you're negotiating salary, setting freelance rates, or choosing a career path, understanding where you sit on the supply-demand curve can maximize your earning potential. It's like positioning yourself at the intersection of what you're good at and what the world increasingly needs. Lastly, when making investments, consider how supply and demand dynamics might change in the future. For example, as societies age, demand for healthcare services will likely increase, while the supply of workers in that field may not keep pace. Identifying these long-term trends can inform better investment decisions. It's like trying to skate to where the puck will be, not where it currently is. In conclusion, supply and demand offers a powerful lens for understanding price movements and market behaviors. By recognizing how these forces interact, we can make more informed decisions as consumers, professionals, and investors. In a world where prices sometimes seem arbitrary or unfair, this mental model reminds us that there's often a logical explanation rooted in the balance between what's available and what's desired. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, May your supply meet your demand, your timing be impeccable, and your understanding of markets be ever deepening. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by thepodcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free music.